Timothy was one of Theresa May's most trusted advisers for 8 years. Picture Getty Richard Vaughan 7 hours Thursday, January 11, 2018. Furious Tory MPs have threatened to oust Theresa May over claims she is still being influenced by her former right-hand man Nick Timothy. The Prime Minister was forced to sack Mr. Timothy along with his fellow Chief of Staff Fiona Hill back in June for the role they played in the Conservatives' disastrous general election campaign. But Tory backbenchers have raised serious concerns that Mr. Timothy, nicknamed Rasputin on account of the beard he once sported, still has the ear of Mrs. May, and that he had a hand in Justine Greening's departure from the cabinet. Running number 10, the 37-year-old currently works as a columnist for the Daily Telegraph and The Sun, and last month penned a column attacking Ms. Greening's track record as Education Secretary. On Thursday he wrote an article trumpeting the fact she had gone, claiming the MP for Putney was blocking key policy decisions. Now the suggestion he is still manipulating number 10 has sparked outrage among Tory MPs, with one suggesting Mrs. May will be toppled before the year is out. One former cabinet minister told he absolutely had a hand in the reshuffle. There is no doubt about it. The man clearly thinks he is still running things and the PM is listening to him. It must be a breach of proper procedure. He was fired. He ran a rubbish campaign, which meant we lost our majority, but he is still there influencing things. The PM has to come out and say he no longer has any involvement. Names added to the list. The senior Tory added that the Prime Minister was already on borrowed time just 1 week into the new parliamentary session. After the shambolic reshuffle, every time she does something like this, there are a few more names added to the list calling for her to go. A few more letters are drafted. What they will say is it is time for her to go. Unless something dramatic happens, people will demand she moves aside. Another Conservative backbencher warned, there is no point going to the 1922 committee because Sir Graham Brady is protecting her. The PM needs to realise that every time she does something like this, patience with number 10 among the parliamentary party stretches ever more thin. She would realise this, but she has absolutely no political antenna, but people are getting more and more tired with this. One serving minister said he was assured Mr. Timothy had no hand in the cabinet reshuffle, but added they didn't know whether he is involved in other policy issues. Just the suggestion Mr. Timothy still has a hand in policy formation will infuriate many Tory MPs, as much of the parliamentary party blame Mr. Timothy for running what has been described as the worst general election campaign in living memory. Prominent Conservative backbencher Nigel Evans told he would not want Mrs. May to go, but demanded assurances be made that Mr. Timothy was not involved in Tory policy. Timothy still in charge, alarm bells will be ringing, sirens blaring, and vehicles will be racing to number 10 if we thought he was sidestepping the party's policy creation and implementation procedure, Mr. Evans said. I will raise this with the 1922 committee to make certain he has no influence with the Prime Minister. Former Minister Anna Soubry tweeted, disappointed surprise, the man who helped lose us our majority was sacked from number 10 is still in charge. Disappointed surprise, the man who helped lose us our majority was sacked from number 10 is still in charge. https://t.coch8j5 out 13, Anna Soubry MP at Anna Soubry, January 11, 2018. Mr. Timothy said suggestions of his involvement in the reshuffle was obviously completely untrue. The PM's official spokesman said, to be absolutely clear, Nick Timothy left Downing St more than 7 months ago. He doesn't speak for the Prime Minister or for the government. In news http://cinews.co.uk